right, guys, welcome to another episode of Trust Sports. We're in the building. Got my guy Liam with me in the building. What's good, brother?
Leak, what's up, man? Jeez, what a difference a week makes. I feel like we came on here last week. We were both feeling good about our
Yeah,
teams, and
yeah.
for two different reasons, not so much anymore. But hey, other than that, I'm great.
Great to go, man. But hey, we talked about before we started recording that I want to talk. I want to have some fun with this, and we're
hmm
recording this Thursday. Episode will be out tomorrow. But I want to go around and some of the news that we were seeing is one of the biggest trends. Hey, Liam, me and you. What are you? Are you 27 as well or 28?
27, but keep that on the low.
27, right? We're 27 years old. We played in our rec basketball men's league. I sprained my ankle once. We had Javon completely tear his Achilles. My boy Malik, he also tore his knee up. His finger was done up in the game. And we're 27. Right now, trending is
hmm
a 37U men's football league to where you're seeing film of guys just go out there and bashing one another. Full pads, full pads. And my
Yep.
older brother said this to me. Everyone's sending me these videos of like, yo, you need to go out there. Go to hell. There's no way
Yeah.
that I wake up for work the next day or whenever it is. I'm practicing 4 to 5 times a week. I'm getting ready for a game. I'm buying my own equipment, and I'm hurting
hmm
myself to play in a men's tackle football league with all the testosterone in the world. There's just refs there. It's just been amazing to see all the film that is out there on this 37U men's football league. But Liam, do you think you could hold up and play?
I'll tell you what, after that basketball league, I don't know. Fucking shins were hurting, knees were hurting every time I was being iced up. I would like to think so, but dude, it's so funny to me because I saw that video and the dude that was going over the video had the same thought as me, especially when we played our rec league basketball. Like, the team we played in the playoffs was just like wilding out the entire time. And all I kept thinking in my head was, yo, we all have work in the morning.
Yeah,
Like that, like this league means nothing in
yeah.
comparison. So I was dying when I saw that video. He's like, look at this like big ass dude, got to work, got to be up at 6 in the morning for work, going out and trying to make a tackle. But it's crazy, man, because there are a ton of those leagues out there,
Yeah.
which is cool because it's fun. Like, we had a good time getting that competitive juices flowing again. But fuck, our bodies might tell us otherwise pretty soon.
Oh no. I mean, there was Will Compton and Taylor Wan from Bustin' with the Boys. They were talking about how like they go to like all like the summer camps, interview guys, and they watch a practice. And these are NFL pro guys who probably are like only 2 years removed from suiting up. And they automatically say
Yeah,
like, I can't believe my body was taking that much of a
yeah,
hit during those times. I just know there's just no way that like and I talked to my brother all the time. He was a running back at Palmyra. You know, I played both ways. We both played both ways, and we would
hmm
talk about how like when we play in men's league, like, I can't really walk. Like I can't believe that I played, was bruised up, felt, but I do miss that feeling. You do miss that feeling of being sore after a game. There's nothing like baseball. I never felt that. Like, I never was sore really, unless like I was getting pelted with baseballs as a catcher.
yeah.
But I never had that sore, and you do miss that soreness feeling. But yeah, there's no shot. There's no shot you can get me to sign up for that. But yeah, that's funny. I want to see if there's one around here and go watch just for the heck of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is.
It
Sure
has
there
to be
is.
hilarious.
Oh my
Hilarious. In
god.
other news, we have yo, your guy. Again, they're expecting this is gonna I'm gonna tie this into each other. They're
Mhm.
expecting Ben Simmons to be back and actually playing this year. And on the other hand,
Uh-huh.
we have huge news for the Sixers that construction will be going underway to have them in Center City. So I want to see your point of view. I come from Northeast Philly. You live closer to the city as well. What are your thoughts on all that? Ben Simmons plus 76ers.
Ben Simmons, wow. You know, it's funny. Javon texted me it, and I'm pretty sure he texted me it part to be a joke. And I told him
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, is it that? Is it that part of the late summer already where we're
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
Ben
yeah,
Simmons
yeah,
highlight tapes? It's
yeah.
literally like clockwork."
Yep.
He's nothing. He's not going to play. It's funny. He's in a contract year, so watch him play this year and ball out just to get another contract, and then you won't hear from him again.
No
I would
shot.
not put that past him. Um, but no, it's funny as hell because it's literally clockwork. Every late August into
Yeah.
September, dude's in the
Yeah.
gym. He's got a jump shot now. He's ready to go. Season starts, he bitches away. As far as the Sixers' new stadium, I hate it.
Yeah.
Couldn't hate it more. Honestly, that's the vibe I'm getting from a lot of fans. Now, from an ownership, money, business perspective, totally get it. So the reason they're moving is the Flyers ownership group owns the Wells Fargo Center. So they get all the advertising revenue whenever there's concerts or other events that go on there. That all goes to the Flyers. The Sixers essentially just rent that building out, if you want to say it like that. So I get why they wanted their own place, but Malik, part of the lore of Philly sports is having like all four of those major teams within that one circle. Like I've even
Yeah.
heard people that have come from out of state, random people that I know that moved here or have visited here say like, you know what, that's really cool that you guys have this. Like you could just be dropped off dead center. You got the Link, Citizens Bank Park, and the Wells Fargo Center. Like all your teams are right there. That's really, really cool. It's also a part of the city. It doesn't make sense. Like they're gonna have
Yeah.
to change a lot. Like public transit, we already know it's shit as is. I don't know how they're gonna just expect to be like, oh, just take the trains, just take
Yeah.
the buses. Like,
Yeah.
it's shit. So there's no parking there as is. The traffic's a nightmare as is. So I really don't know. I'm sure the stadium itself will be beautiful, but I hate it.
I don't know where. I'm like thinking. I'm
I
like,
don't either.
where the fuck are they gonna put this?
That's
Like,
what everyone's saying too.
yeah,
It's
like,
just like everyone, oh yeah, like right outside of Chinatown, and it's just where,
where?
where?
Like, how much? Like, how many people are you displacing to build this? To
Mhm.
build this stadium? One, I'm thinking about the construction. It's not gonna take a year. It's gonna take longer than a year
gonna
for
take a while.
construction. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for it to happen. I'm just like, Philly's gonna suck for the next 5 years. Like, it's gonna be hell to be going to Philly, getting to Philly. What bridge you taking? Like, it's hell when
Yeah.
the link is
Hell no.
packed. When
Yeah.
the Eagles game is packed, like you can wait in traffic or off the Ben Franklin for an hour, getting off the Ben Franklin to get to park at the stadium. So like that
Bro,
alone is crazy.
I didn't move out of the park. I went to the game on Monday. I was sitting in the parking lot completely stationary for an hour
Yeah,
in the
you
parking
always
lot.
will.
So you're
Yeah,
right. It's like it's
yeah,
horrible as is.
it is. It is, and there's nothing right now. You luckily you won't have double headers where like sometimes there'll be Phillies games, Eagles games, like
Mhm.
it just overlaps sometimes, and like that's hell. But I understand why they didn't move to Camden. They don't want to be over in Camden, over in
Yeah,
Jersey.
no,
But I
no.
think that would have been a smarter move with A, bringing money back into Camden. B,
I
it's
agree.
like you have more to work with. Like there's more land to work
Mhm.
with, and get the construction away from Philly. I mean, you have the New York Jets, Giants, all play in Jersey as well. Like, why not
Mhm.
just? It's not that crazy of a you're too far from New York. That like you're right over the bridge. People will still
Yeah,
come to the games. Easier parking, better to commute, and you're also bringing in toll money as well for people to go back and forth to the fucking games as
yeah.
well. So,
And
I
that's
don't
where
know what they were thinking
the practice facility's right there. Like they
in
were going to
Camden.
build it kind of off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like even that
Uh,
made sense. But I don't know, man. It's again, like you said, it's going to be a few years before it even gets going. But
yeah,
geez, that's going to be
yeah.
brutal.
I hear you. All right. So before we jump into what do you want to do, brother? Do you want to jump straight into Eagles Cowboys or hit some league stuff? I
No,
think we
you
should
know
jump right
what?
into Eagles.
We need to jump. Let's jump into Cowboys first because the
Okay.
Eagles is fresher. Cowboys. We'll go by numerical order, right? Time frame.
Yeah.
Cowboys got their cheeks busted before the Eagles did. So let's start
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Cowboys won't take too long because it's just like duh, like this is what's going to happen with the Cowboys from this point on. I have some
Yeah.
information I'll keep for off the podcast and just remind me to tell you after, Liam.
Uh-huh.
But it was embarrassing. You watched that game, and I've said. I actually told you last week, Liam. I told multiple people, I said, "Yo, we're losing this game." You're like, "No, you guys
Yeah.
will fuck the fucking Saints." Son. I was like, "We're gonna lose this game."
Yep.
Like, no matter what, an NFL team that could put up that many points, I don't care if it's the Panthers, but the Saints still scored a plethora of points. They can still score the ball, and I look at that and say, our defense is not prepared to handle an offense that can score that much. At least not yet. Again, it's week 2. We all want to talk about week 2 drama, cancel the team. It is what it is.
Mhm.
But this is a team that I have watched for the last couple years that when they're down 14 or plus more points, game's over. It's a
Yeah.
guaranteed wash that we are not
Yep.
coming back. We don't have that ability in us. If we're not up and on top of the heads of people going into like the third quarter, the game's over. Once we're
100%.
down, we're down. It was embarrassing to see that defense not be able to stop Dick right away. I mean, it was just quick score, quick score, quick score. I can't believe this just happened. Let me go take a nap. Like that's what it led me to end up happening. So you see Carr go 11 for 16, 243 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Who the fuck is Rashid Shaheed?
Oh yeah.
4 receptions for 96 yards, 1 TD. We couldn't settle anything. Now you want to say I can make an excuse for our offense with guys being out rookies. There is no excuse for this defense whatsoever besides when I look at coaching. Now, I'll talk about coaching on the offensive side, but defensive side. On the defensive side, Zimmerman got embarrassed. His defense was picked apart like it was nothing. I mean, everything fucking worked between the run of Alvin Kamara, who ran. I mean, he ran for 115 yards for 20 carries. What?
4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns.
And 4 TDs. In what world? There should be no excuse where, yes, granted, Micah Parsons was getting triple team, double teamed here and there. Where's our linebacking core? Where's our play calling? Where's everything? I mean, they ran down our throats the entire fucking game. And there's no excuse for that. And it was just embarrassing to see a defense that has those guys. We have guys. There's no reason. Like, it's just the same. It's the same situation as the Eagles. It's like, we have guys. Make the plays.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Yep.
Like, our defensive line is solid. Get in there and make the plays. It's just like, it was embarrassed all around. I don't know exactly I think his name's Kershaw or something like that. It just was like a weird game plan going into the week of like, I didn't see our running back core. We went with with the little guy. He was a starting running back. He was the running back the entire game. Deuce, Vaughn, you look at the other side, you see that Zeke doesn't get any carries. Dowdy doesn't get any carries. We're now going to turns. We have no one else to throw the ball to. We're missing Gallup's not in the game anymore. He's not there. So who's the next guy up? Ferguson was hurt. Who's the next guy up? Are you just going to hone in on CeeDee Lamb? Because that shuts the whole offense down.
That's all you have to do.
Like, it just shows you that we are not. We're not dynamic in no way. That in order for us to be good, I always told you we have to score on. We have to have 2 picks and a pick 6 and a fucking kick return to the house in order to win a game because we just can't get it done. Now, I gave Dak all this praise of being a great quarterback, not a great quarterback, but being a decent quarterback, doing his job of what he does. Dak still threw 1 pick. He really threw 2, but the one is a falling receiver who just I want to tear his ass up, but I'm gonna hold it. And the other one was double coverage towards the end of the game. So it's like he did throw his 1 pick, no matter what, a clear as day fucking pick. But it's like there's just nothing. There's no fight in this team, and I'll bring it up with your Eagles later on. But I wanted to get your perspective about the Cowboys because we'll talk about with the Eagles. When I look at the Eagles, I still see a fight within them. With the Cowboys, it's nothing, bro. It's awful to watch.
You're gonna have to talk me off the ledge with the Eagles. I'll go into that rant. And speaking of the Eagles, Kamara might double what he did against you guys because we can't stop a nosebleed. I don't know. Like I don't know. Again, I said this last week when the Cowboys beat the Browns. Like this is what they do. They beat up on bad teams. It looks like the Browns again offensively still are nothing. So take that win. You know they did the job on the road. Whatever. This I was surprised by. I really was. I was at the Phillies game on Sunday. I was kind of like score watching. I saw like 21-6. And you're right. I think the Cowboys have to play a certain way. If they get off to an early start, especially in Jerry's world, they're tough to beat. I mean, every team is. If you're going the road and fall behind early.
We're the only team that can't win at home.
You were good at home last year, but I'll say the last 2 games in Jerry's world was that Packers playoff game and this one combined 92 points let up.
Yeah.
92. And, you know, to your point, like this is why this whole offseason was really weird for the Cowboys because Jerry says we're going all in. I get you had to, you know, work on Dak's contract, work on CD's contract, but this was the problem. Like you have no running game. You have no real running back. You have 3 guys. You have Zeke that's on the tail end of his career. I don't know what Rico Dowdle is. I don't think Deuce Vaughn is a full-time back. Maybe he's a third down back. Like you said, why he was starting and getting those runs, I have no clue. Yeah. After CeeDee Lamb, you have an old Brandon Cooks and nothing else. God forbid, I don't want this to happen. Fergie, okay, but he's out of the lineup already and questionable again this week. Yeah. So even with him, knock on wood, this doesn't happen. But let's say CeeDee Lamb gets hurt for 4 or 5 weeks. Like, what do you do? Who do you go to? It's over.
Yeah.
So that's what was really weird. Was not again. I get that CD needs a big contract. I get that Dak needed it. Now you got to pay Micah. I'm assuming they will. But you have to. That's part of being a general manager and Jerry Jones. Like you have to maneuver the cap to give some sort of other weapons to this team, especially when your quarterback is Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes can work with this. Joe Burrow can work with this. Dak Prescott can't. Yeah. But you have to understand your players.
That's amazing what you said. That's 100% correct because, and in my eyes, I think the most frustrating part is I hate the new age football player, and I hate Micah Parsons having to hear him speak the next day on the podcast and be like, it was embarrassing, it was this. Liam, when you look at how shitty not shitty, but when you look how bad the Browns are, let's just say for example,
Yeah.
the Myles Garrett create destruction for the Cowboys? 100%. Micah, create fucking destruction, brother. No matter what, you're down. Make a difference in a game. You can't want to go get a biggest contract, and then you either have an amazing fucking game or I don't hear from you the rest of the night. And you can't say, yes, he's taking tight end chip, double block with the running back as well. Grant, so is Myles Garrett.
I was going to say,
fucking
so
do
is
that.
TJ Watt.
So
So
is
is
TJ
like
Watt.
all these big time
Yes.
pass rushers that are still getting it done.
Get it done, bro. And that just proves to my. It's like for the last couple of years I've been questioning like, do the defensive coordinators really know how to use him? Do they know how to utilize his specialties and stuff like that? And I've always been questioning that. It's like if you ball out, go ahead and fucking put yourself in a play in which, you know what? This is why I like Myles Garrett picks and chooses where the fuck he wants to go on the field. All these guys pick and choose where the fuck you want to go and cause havoc, bro. And like that's what he just doesn't have for me. I don't need you to show up when it's a game where you can get 3 sacks because they fucking suck. I need you to show up in a game where we're getting blown out and create. I mean, you put the pressure on Derek Carr, what happens? This is still Derek Carr at the end of the day. This is still Kirk Cousins at the end of the day. Put pressure on them and see what the fuck happens. There's a reason why they're in the position in which they are. They're not the greatest. They're just a regular pack quarterback. They're not put pressure on Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes and holy shit, he just made an 80-yard touchdown. Like, no, that's not going to happen. At some point, he's going to fuck up and throw you a pick. So put the pressure. I mean, fucking Derek Carr could sit there all day and was able to pick us apart all day. Diggs, what are we doing? What is our defensive backs doing? Like, it just was like an embarrassment all around. And like I said, going into the year, you know what's amazing is, and I said, and the reason I talk shit on Instagram is really to get people to understand what football is. Before you begin to talk shit on a team, and you still have to play, shut the fuck up. There's no problem with saying like, oh, fuck the Cowboys, here they go again. But when you start digging and texting and doing all this stuff, and then you turn around and look at the Eagles get fucked over, now you put the battery in my back to be like, you shouldn't have been talking shit. And that's why I put that meme out there. You shouldn't have been talking shit. Like, your team starts to play. Unless you're done, and you like, I don't talk shit until my Cowboys play or when the Eagles play to see who, if we both lost or if I just gotta take the hit of what the weekend looks like. But it was funny to see who was talking shit. Of course, the Giants were talking shit on the weekend.
Worst team in the league.
It was still embarrassing, but again, it's the Cowboys, and I'm still gonna support the Cowboys. When we win, I'm up. When we're down, I just shut the fuck up. That's it. Like, I'm down, I just stay quiet, bro. Like, I'm a Ohio State Buckeye fan for the day, or I could be a Cowboys fan on Monday. That's what it is for me at this point. This is a team that I expect that we look old, we look beat up already. It's only week 2, and it's a long fucking season to go. This is definitely
game Sunday too.
Yeah. I mean, we might be in a predicament in which Lamar is pissed the fuck off, and it might come into Jerry's world. Hell no. Hell no. You know what they're going to do is, if I couldn't stop Derek Carr, what the fuck could I do with a pissed off Lamar and Flowers? You know what I mean? And a Derrick Henry, who you have Kamara, who just had his fucking almost year high. So it's like, I mean, season high. It's like we're gonna be milked all the way in Dallas as well. I have a lot of stuff to say. I'll share if you want to hit me offline about the Cowboys and the inside scoops that I have. But it is what it is, baby. I just hope that CeeDee Lamb stay healthy. Hopefully this offseason we're able to get some more guys. Please don't make the playoffs. Just stay maybe in the running of 500 maybe. Give me some wins, give me some good Sundays, some good Mondays. And I'm good to go. I don't want to see us in the playoffs. I don't want to see the media shift, because you know what's going to happen. It already happened week 1, Liam, with is this a Super Bowl team, to now the Cowboys are old and washed up. Like it's so quick that it happens to the media. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? But
you know, it's funny you mentioned the playoffs. I was going to ask you, and before we touch on the Eagles, like it's overreaction, right? Like, I'm sure it's a bit of overreaction. Again, Cowboys got blown out at home. Eagles did something that was unimaginable. But let me ask you this question, like, seriously. And I kind of asked myself, I was like, no, this isn't overreaction. Then you think a little bit more about it. What do you think is likely more to happen? Do we get another division winner between the Eagles and Cowboys where they're just scraping by with 9 wins, like we saw the NFC East from a few years back? Or do you think it's more likely that both teams put their foot on the gas, both teams make the playoffs at the records like they did last year?
No, I think it's going to be one of us. I think it's going to be like, and it's usually, that's how it goes. It's usually like every other couple of years you have the ebbs and flow of like 2 shitty NFC East teams like get in there, squeak into the playoffs, or it's one that's just outdoing each other or something. I think we're in a period in which it's going to be a shitty division. We're at the shitty division point right now. And
Got
I
to be
think
worse in the
that
league right now.
yeah, it's pretty
Gotta be.
fucking bad. Like I mean, you look at the I don't mean AFC NFC, what is it, South
Yeah,
or whatever, is
the
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 Texans,
A,
the Colts,
yeah, the AFC South. Yeah, that's bad.
the AFC South. That used to be the battle of the bums. Now they're fucking on top now. Like
Yeah,
they're those are some good fucking teams
but
out
even
there.
they've
So
been bad too again.
yeah, yeah. But I think the Eagles. We'll talk about it, but I think this is a year in which one of those teams squeaks it out and gets it together. I don't think we both
Yeah.
figure it out. I think one of us figures it out at some point.
Hmm. I agree. I agree.
All right, so you were at the game, the Eagles game.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I was watching it here and there. I was at the gym and I kept checking in. And by the time I got home, it was Kirk Cousins doing what Kirk Cousins does, the last drive of the season. I mean, the
Yeah.
last drive of the game. I would say it was a season opener in the link, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Season opener. I mean, the
Oh
link
yeah.
was rocking. I mean, it's
It
crazy. I
was.
love I love I love seeing the link rocks when it's like it's. I think it's louder than Arrowhead in my opinion. Um,
I
but
agree. I've never been obviously never been to Arrowhead, but
yeah,
look, man, that
it
place
gets
is
up
tough.
there.
Link is
Yeah,
tough.
it's a tough place to play for sure. But seeing the Eagles go down the way they went down definitely made my weekend to see how the Cowboys got their ass kicked, to see you guys go out and lose. And it made me think of last year. And you remember how the Cowboys had like a just upsetting loss to the Cardinals. I got this is the worst team in the league. They're legit
Yeah.
tanking to go into the playoffs. The Eagles also got their fucking ass kicked early. Was it early to the 49ers? So it
Yeah.
was like, is this a repeat of like teams still figuring it out? Like, and they had that one ass kicking that's like, when you look back at the schedule, like, damn, we really lost to the fucking Falcons. What the fuck was going on
Right.
there? And then we have a
Right.
turnaround down the year. But I want to hear what your perspective was being in the stadium at least.
Yeah. So, being in the stadium, it's funny. And I'll even take it back. I'll even take it back.
Yeah,
When we got started with Week 1, Eagles had that Friday night game. The Chiefs started opening kickoff. I was pumped for football to be back, but this was the first year. This is the first year that I can remember where my excitement for the Eagles was as low as it can be. Like I even when the Eagles have been bad, like when we grow up, like me, I'm a diehard fan. Like I'm still always excited. Like I'm excited to watch them play, good, bad, or ugly. But for whatever reason, I was like, I'm just not feeling this. And part of me was like, maybe it's the Phillies. The past 2 years, deep playoff runs. We're hoping that this is the year. I'm a baseball guy first, so like I'm deeply invested in that. Maybe it's that. I turned on the radio on Sunday. I was driving home. Nothing else was on. Finished up my podcast. Just turned on sports radio, which is horrible, and I never really listened to. But I turned it on just to see what they were saying for the Monday night game. And one of the things that the guy said was he was like, "Where are the Eagles fans?" All week, I haven't gotten phone calls like we normally do leading up to a big Monday night game. He's like, "Where are they?" And I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm not in the minority. It sounds like I'm more in the majority.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't seem like this fan base is that excited.
yeah,
And Monday night, watching Monday night, even when the Eagles were up, even as that third down play or third down play to Saquon happened, when the timeout, when it felt like it was going to be a win, I still felt uneasy. It felt like a win last year when we were saying, oh man, they're 2-0, but something's off. Like, something still felt off. And I think the reason myself and maybe other fans aren't excited or ready to be invested in this team is because this isn't just a week 1 or 2 thing with them. It's the past 9 or 10 weeks dating back to last year. Malik,
yeah,
look at the top teams this year and in years past. And what do they have one, if not both of? Great head coach, great
yeah,
quarterback. You need
yeah.
one of the two. And some teams have both. Chiefs, back-to-back champs. I don't know if the Eagles have either. Now, I'm not putting this game on Jalen Hurts specifically. The ending, again, throwing an interception to double coverage,
Yeah.
receiver nowhere near the ball. All you need is
Yeah.
15 yards for the game-winning field goal. That's on you, my boy. But I really think part of the reason I'm not fully excited and why I text you after the game, I'm on my leak shit. I'm watching it. I'll root when they win, whatever when they lose. I can't expect anything at all from this team. Anything at all. And
Yeah.
it's exactly like Monday night. Because the
Yeah.
offense, the entire game, still struggled their way to 21 points at home in the home opener. The defense is allowing over 6 yards a run. They can't do anything. They can't get any pressure on Kirk Cousins, who's pushing 40 and is coming off of an ACL injury. Still
True.
can't get any pressure on him at all.
True.
Drives right down
Yeah.
the field like he's prime Aaron Rodgers, and you want me to be excited about this team.
3
So then I
plays.
looked it up. 3 plays. So then I looked it up. Because I've gotten heat for being a Jalen Hurts, I guess, not hater. I don't hate on the guy, but I just don't think that he is the guy. He had that year when we went to the Super Bowl, and we
he's
said
black. Carson
he needs
Wentz,
to.
you were all
Yeah,
in on.
I'm all in. That's the only reason. But I found this stat. Somebody put this stat out, and it actually got a few people that were against me on the Jalen Hurts thing brought on my side after that Monday night game and with these stats. You remember last year, the Bills game? They wore the Kelly Green, won in overtime. Really exciting game.
Yeah.
Hurts balled out. And I think it put the Eagles at 10-1, 11-1, something like that. Since that game, the Eagles are 2-7. Jalen Hurts has a 63% completion percentage, thrown for a little over 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's run for 300 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 fumbles, 2 of them lost. So in the last 9 games, dating back to last year and the first 2 games this year, they are 2-7, and Jalen Hurts has 14 touchdowns and 11 turnovers. Put that in the body of work of any other bad quarterback that we think in this league. Put it on Justin Fields. If I put that blind, 2-7, 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, who's that sound like?
Don't sound like
Justin
Dak.
Fields when he struggled. Probably not Dak because he would have some more, at least, touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, I would say. Bryce Young even.
But I'm not a fan of that,
like,
Liam. I'm actually not a fan of last year into this year type of mentality. Like I don't like those stats because it goes off of end of the season, playoffs, forcing shit, doing what you have to do just to ball. Like I don't like that one, but I agree. It's hard for me to hate on him because I loved him since college, but I've had to hear you say, you've been saying this for a couple of years now, like I just don't think he's the guy.
And I want him, I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I want him to be better than Mahomes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying this to be like, nah, fuck him. I love the dude's mentality. Yeah. But and the only reason, to your point of why I do want to bring in last year, because you remember how last year ended, Eagles needed to win like one game to clinch that division, clinch the 1 seed or the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Remember, like they were playing the Giants they lost to, the Cardinals they lost to. Like they weren't playing these world beater teams. They weren't playing the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Cowboys, the Niners. They went through that stretch. They did okay. And then the back end of the season is when the schedule softened up, and that's when everything went to shit. And the main thing is they brought back that dickhead head coach who does absolutely nothing, even to the point where after an embarrassing game like that, he didn't even talk to the team. Didn't say a word.
I want to get into that because I've been a Sirianni hater since the beginning.
Yeah, you have been.
You were on Sirianni heavy from the beginning. You love his energy that he brought. I told you he's not the guy. I told you it's not coaching. It had nothing to do with his coaching. That one-off year that you guys had to get to the Super Bowl was Jalen Hurts having, I think, his best year. And I think it was just – what was that?
It was our OC who's the Colts head coach now.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I said it wasn't him. And you guys all like the one thing he brought you guys was a tush push. You can take that and take it what you want with it. But that's all that he's brought you guys this entire time. And when I saw that, okay, so I had a reaction. I had a reaction to the way you guys lost. I say that everyone wants to claim. I think if you don't know ball, everyone's saying all you do is run the ball. That's a good call for that Saquon catch. That's the call. That's the right fucking call from Kellen Moore in that moment. And again, I'm a Kellen Moore hater. That's a great fucking call. Saquon, make the fucking catch. All right? Fine. At the end of the game, that's when Hurts. You drive down the field. You have a fucking all-star kicker that can kick a 67-yard fucking field goal down the fucking line. That's when you Hurts. Move the ball down the field. I mean, he was double. You could say he got hit. He was double coverage. Play the game. You had 38 seconds. That's all it took Kirk Cousins was to score, and you was 30 fucking seconds. Why can't you guys do that as well? AJ Brown was in the game. Okay, I give you that. He's hurt. I look at Sirianni. I'm like, this isn't really a coaching issue. So when people are saying like, it's the leadership that's there that I think, Liam, and I'm helping you out here, is that when last year all this happened, the debacle, you guys started losing every game down the line, and everyone's saying it's coaching, the atmosphere, everything going down. I truly think that's not what's going to happen here. I think you have great leaders in that room now, and that's why I don't like it not hearing Sirianni speak, but I understand it with like there's great leaders in that room that know we lost that game. Coaching didn't lose you that game. It's blatant play call. It's blatant players making and not making those plays that got you there. It's a defense who did play amazingly, but also held you to 21 points. Offense showed the fuck up. If I hold a team to 21 points, I think my offense should be able to score with Jalen Hurts, all these guys that were star-studded on the other side of the field. So can't knock your defense that much. You can't knock coaching that much. So I wouldn't be too hesitant on my coach didn't fucking say anything. He should have said something. But again, this is a team where I think you have some, great leaders who I don't think this happens. I think that I'm being 100% for real with you that I know you don't want to have hope and you're fucking off the Eagles already, but I think you won't see that again. I think this is a loss so they understand that we lost this game. Coaching, when you have, and I think last year coaching lost you games. That's what was the issue last year. Right here is not coaching it. Not yet. And of course I want to put the blame on Kellen Moore because I fucking hate him, but I think he's not him.
Well, it's not only, to me, the coaching that messed the game up wasn't just that play, right? Because in theory, the play's there. Make the catch game's over there 2-0.
You guys couldn't score, right, in the red zone.
No, but my problem was, in the beginning, in the first quarter, it was a 0-0 game. It might have been the second drive. We had the ball at the 8-yard line, didn't kick a field goal. Went for it. Fine. Right? Fine. Yeah. But what's been my thing since we started this podcast, whether it be on refs, whether it be on coaching, consistency. Yeah. If you're going to do something, be consistent. Why, Malik, wouldn't you just fucking go for it? And again, to the crowd that said run the ball, because I was one of them, I wanted you to run the ball on 3rd down, so then you run the ball on 4th down. You have Saquon Barkley back there. You're telling me in 2 tries he can't get 3 yards? And if he gets 2 yards on 3rd down, you have a play in your back pocket that works 90% of the time. Yeah. Do it. And if you don't get it, now you have the Falcons that are only playing for a field goal. They're not going to play for a touchdown, backed up at their own 8-yard line. Okay, so go get 3. We'll go to overtime. We'll beat you in overtime. Yeah, exactly.
But, the clock's running too.
That was my thing. It wasn't necessarily the Kellen Moore play call. The passing, didn't love it.
I hear you.
Because I wanted them to run back-to-back times. And again, if you're going to be that aggressive down in the same area, be aggressive the entire game.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I see that perspective as well. That's another thing on the with the Cowboys too. Too often are we okay? And I think that's something with fucking fat ass McCarthy is that he's okay with taking field goals. It fucking pisses me off every time we kick a fucking field goal in the red. Like just fucking go. I'd rather go for it and not get it than give me 3 points because I'd rather lose a fucking game that way than lose the game just kicking field goals. Like there's nothing that pisses me off more than that. So that I hate that. I agree. That's a great point. And again, if you run the ball twice, you gave the ball back to him with you gave the ball back to him with a minute and 42 left. It was 3rd and 3 with a minute and 42 left, 15-18. You definitely give the ball back to him with less time.
Because if you ran on 3rd down, that clock winds down to a minute. Then if you go for it on 4th down, say you don't get it, they're backed up at the 8-yard line with probably 50 seconds, so almost a full minute off the clock. Yeah. But again, at that time, the Falcons are down by 3. If they get a touchdown, great. But in their minds, it's let's get to the 40-yard line to give our kicker a chance to tie it, go to overtime. They're not thinking a touchdown. But when you go up 6, they're like, oh, we need 6. We need a touchdown. Yeah, exactly. we need to score a touchdown.
And those refs almost fucking gave it to you at the end to call that that celebration in front of the ref. That's bullshit. I was like, oh wow,
they were bad all night. They were really bad all night. They called a bad call on Jalen Hurts with that. I think the Eagles were getting screwed with penalties all night long.
I see that take. That was an amazing. I was like, if he fucking misses this kick because of that celebration, I'm gonna fucking go crazy. I'm gonna go fucking crazy, bro.
That was the NFL calling in, being like, "Yo, we need to make this a little bit more exciting."
Yeah, right. Oh my god, I was gonna go crazy. But who do you guys? Oh, you guys have the Saints next week. We play Ravens next
Saints
week.
In New Orleans, and this is the problem too, Malik. You got to remember, Sirianni. It was a big surprise on how he came back. You play in New Orleans, and then you play at the Bucs, which all of a sudden look like tougher games. If they lose both, you know how this city's going to react. It's going to be ugly.
His head's already on a stake. And I mean, quickly to talk about to end on some NFL talk is our top quarterbacks. Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Beats the 49ers. Derek Carr beats the Cowboys. Cousin beats the Eagles. Baker Mayfield leading the Bucs over the Lions. Minshew with the Raiders over the Ravens. In what world do we live in where this is existing? And we talked about it as well with you seen Tom Brady talk about it, and I think I want to really touch on this game here with and I really think that the shame goes out to the Panthers. I think you just seen Bryce Young get benched in week 2. You know, I saw Liam, do you know who leads the all-time record for picks in one season?
Is it Brett Favre or Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. That shows you a lot when it comes down to Peyton Manning in a recent pod. I watched this pod before Tom Brady came out and said it. He said the problem is the reason why he still holds that record. He's like, I don't know why. He's like, the only reason I still hold this record is because they're quick to pull guys out. Keep them in.
Yeah,
Let them fucking go through their struggles. The Panthers, what the fuck are you playing for? What are you playing for? I mean, this kid is fucking running his ass around. I mean, you've seen so many guys have to fucking run for their lives in these games, and it's so unfair to get drafted and not be able to play in a system in which you can develop. And that's what Brady said. These guys are leaving college before they could play in a system in which has developed them to play. And I don't know who I saw take it. I don't know if it was Tom Brady who said this. He said, you're starting to see guys in college, quarterbacks, who go from being able to play as true freshmen, who don't get I think it was Tom Brady, who don't get developed their time at like Tom Brady, for example, at Michigan, to where he spent some time at Michigan, was going through the system, developed the system. Each year you develop a new thing. Now I know how to read my defensive backs. Now I know how to read the blitz. Now I get better in the pocket pressure. Now I get better with this. Then I go to the NFL. I play 1 year on the bench. I get thrown into having to play because Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, and I'm prepared for that moment because I've been bred throughout it. Bryce Young has had to go right away. Bama, playing at Bama, going in a great system, but still, they're dumbing down their offenses to play to the talent. And in college football, it's I gotta win, right? And as a coach, you're just playing to win. I'm not playing to develop you for the NFL. Yeah, at some aspects, yes, but I'm also developing to win here, right? And that's the problem we're seeing. We're seeing these young guys not get the chance to develop, and you have a guy like Bryce Young who gets benched for the Panthers. Shame on that organization for having nothing around him. Shame on on Chicago for having nothing around Caleb as well. And that's been a lot of drama going around with Caleb Williams feeling like getting young boyed by not Justin Fields, by CJ Stroud, which is dumb as fuck. But I think that's a shame that you're seeing all this happen because. Hey, that's why we're starting to see these mid-tier guys being able to go out and have a play and being able to play in big games just because they had the time to develop. I've been in quarterback rooms where I had Tom Brady. I've been in quarterback rooms where I was able to develop and play. I mean, Sam Darnold, I haven't fucking heard about him in forever. Derek Carr has jumped all over the place. I mean, Cousins in his 13th, 14th year. Baker Mayfield is Geno Smith, who has been playing forever. Minshew, these are guys that got the chance to develop. Throw them out there. Let them develop a little bit. The Panthers, what the fuck? Are you trying to save him for future play and not let him get hurt because your team sucks? What's the reasoning?
And there's a lot to unfold here because, I and again, to go back to a stat, Malik, going back to I'll go back to 2018. Here are the amount of passing touchdowns through the first 2 weeks of the season. In 2018, there was 114. In 2019, 105. 2020, 110. 2021, 110. 2022, 105. Last year, 86. This year, 68. 68 passing touchdowns through the first 2 weeks when 3 years ago we had over 115.
Wow.
And again, you know why that is? It's because you have Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, Bo Nix, all thrown into situations with bad teams. That's why they're picking at that spot.
Yeah.
They've combined for 0 touchdown passes. 0. Yeah. And it's exactly like you said. Teams now, the entire game has changed. The entire game has changed because now everybody's trying to do what the Eagles did in 2022, what the Niners did last year in the past couple of years. They're trying to find that young quarterback on a rookie deal so that they can surround the team with the best possible talent because the salary is there and try to just take advantage and bolster your team. But like you said, when Bryce Young gets drafted, that team is absolute dog shit. Dog shit last year, dog shit this year. Why are you playing him right away? I'll tell you what has been the best run organization in the NFL for the past 20 years? The Patriots. Guess what? The Patriots have drafted a rookie quarterback at the 3rd overall pick. They know their line's bad. They know they have no real receivers. They have a running back who's on the decline. You know what they're doing? Playing Jacoby Brissett. They're resting their guy because they didn't want to throw him into the fire and have him struggle, and now your confidence is shattered. Maybe your leg is shattered. Caleb Williams is running for his damn leg. They got no offensive line. And for the Bears who went out and got him all that weapons, you couldn't go get a guard and a tackle? You had to go get Keenan Allen? You couldn't get a tackle?
Yeah.
They are setting these guys. Yeah. They're setting these guys up for failure. There's no room for development. There's no time for development. These teams are so quick. They're so quick. And look, like you said, partially it's on the college game too, because I do think that guys have looked more talented. But also, like Brady said, look, if I'm not starting at Bama, I'm out. If I'm not starting at Oregon, I'm out. Like the transfer portal is just like boom. Like these teams will pick you up. There's nobody who
Yeah.
wants to wait anymore. They want to go
Yeah.
right away. But
Yeah.
it's bad, and it's funny because I was thinking about the other day. I was like, man, like we grew up with Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Like we had
Yeah.
quarterbacks. I
Yeah.
look around the league. Mahomes is awesome. Like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen is what he is. C.J. Stroud looks great, and he's the one example of a guy who did go in right away and make a difference, which is going to happen, but it's rare. And I kept thinking, I was like, man, we really don't have the same quarterback play, and it's got to be this is the reason why these guys don't get a chance to develop. The offensive schemes are dumbed down. Scoring is a lot less. It's bad. Like you look around the league, there's a lot of bad quarterback play.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we're all starting to see the injury plague that's taking over the NFL as well. And I think that's all due into part of how hard is training camp at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys aren't even playing in preseason games. Before, you would at least play in the last preseason game to like the third quarter.
Yeah.
Just to play, learn how to come out at halftime, play a little bit, and then you come out the fucking game. Now guys aren't even touching the field in preseason. Preseason is all for your practice. Who's gonna be in the practice squad and who's gonna make the roster and possibly be one of those guys. Like it's getting bad. I mean, you look around the league. This is just to name off a few. You have Christian McCaffrey, Achilles injury. A.J. Brown, hamstring injury. Debo Samuel, calf injury. Cooper Kupp, ankle injury. Puka Nacua, knee injury. T. Higgins, hamstring injury. Tua, who may not fucking play again.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, knee injury. Isaiah Pacheco, fibula injury. Keenan Allen, heel injury. Joe Mixon, ankle injury. Jordan Anderson, ankle injury. Kenneth Walker III, oblique injury. Russell Wilson, calf injury. Pucker, ankle injury. Vita Vey, knee injury. Raheem Morset, chest injury. All these guys around the league, done. That's millions and millions of dollars of guys who just are not playing right now. You're fucking my fantasy up, one.
Yeah, yeah.
But also,
yeah, exactly.
It's just I think these guys need to play more often. They need to play in the preseason as well. Because all around it's just not looking good right now.
You can't simulate game time speed. You can't simulate game time hitting. Like you can't. And you can say that you're doing these guys a favor, but you're right. When we grew up, you had the first preseason game, nobody really played. Second preseason game, you got a couple drives from the starters. Third preseason game, at the very least, everybody's playing the first half. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. The Eagles, again, you want to talk about the Eagles who have looked like they're struggling. They didn't have one single offensive starter play the entire preseason. You want to wonder why they're playing like shit? You want to wonder why A.J. Brown's hurt right now? I mean, it makes too much sense. The league's changing in a way that, again, they're worried about scoring and keeping this league going. Like, it's not good. And now you got people talking about, I saw the dude Dan Orlovsky today call for defenses to ban 2 high safety defenses. I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh my god,
what are we doing?
Wow.
Wait, like literally, what the fuck are we actually doing? That you want to blame it on what the defense is being good? I don't understand.
At this point, you're asking for. I want the game just to go to all out Hail Mary at all times.
Total entertainment. It's total entertainment.
I just want to see. I want to see a guy be able to have 3,000 fucking catching yards in a season. Exactly. At that point, like, what are we doing? Nah, fuck that.
It's not a sport. It's just for entertainment.
Damn, I didn't look at any big games in the NFL this week coming up. I just looked at ours. I just know we'll probably get dog walked by the Falcons Sunday evening. I mean the Ravens.
No, you got the Ravens. Well, you got the Jets, Patriots tonight. Eagles play at New Orleans. Fuck, man. Steelers 2-0 face the Chargers 2-0. Two teams kind of coming out of nowhere. Okay. The Sunday night game is the Chiefs at the Falcons. And then there's 2 Monday night games. There's the Jaguars at the Bills, and then the Commanders at the Bengals. So I mean, there's some good matchups there.
No, there'll be some good matchups. I just didn't take a look at it. I think that last thing for me is the Chiefs. Seeing that the Chiefs are just able to pull out wins at all times. They're just so clutch, bro. If you don't pull away from them, you're just going to lose. Like, you are. Pull away or it's dubs.
It's literally like the Brady thing. Like, you know, if there's time on the clock and they're down and Brady's on the field, you're done.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's the same thing with Mahomes. Like, when Mahomes came back on that field and they were down by, 2? It was wrap. It was wrap.
Yeah. All All right, moving to college football. We could talk quickly just about the key takeaways from this week. I think for me, my big takeaways are Alabama looked really good. I'm
Yeah.
really impressed with Bama. The way they ended last year to going to this year, they looked really, really, really good. You have Ewers got injured
Yeah.
last week. You had
Manning.
Manning come in get some playing time, looking good. But now he'll also be starting this week, going into this week, and then they have one more. They play. I think they play Mississippi State the week after, and the week after that they play Oklahoma. So don't,
Yeah, it
if
gets
you're a Texas fan, I don't want to see, you're going to start seeing the media say, oh, we want Archie to be the starter. Fuck no, because when Archie has to walk into Oklahoma, that's not going to be something he's ready for. Georgia almost losing to Kentucky.
Yep.
Georgia pulls it out 13-12. Colorado beating Colorado State. Highly surprised. I was highly surprised because we both had them losing to Colorado State, because I think we were imagining that this Colorado State would be the same Colorado State as last year.
Yeah.
And it just completely wasn't. That quarterback looked like shit.
Yep.
But it's funny. I was talking to someone and they're like, I can't say the cockiness of Shador. I don't mind the cockiness, but like this whole time, because I watched the behind the scenes, I know who he is as a guy. He's a great guy off the field, and I think that he needs that. He needs that cockiness on the field to give him that little boost of energy that he needs to. Because I mean, he's not an amazing quarterback, but he's still a great quarterback, a good quarterback. So he needs that as well. But there's two takes that I just haven't been fucking with. One, as a lineman, if my quarterback ever shit on the entire offensive line to the media, I would. You want to see what stepping out the way looks like? Hike that ball and step out the way. I've been there before. I was a center. And we were in practice, and my quarterback tried to one-up me, and the coach tried to one-up me. You know what I did? Fired that ball 5 times in a row over his fucking head in practice. That's not happening. Like, you're just not going to talk to me a certain way. One, because we're in college, we all know why we lost. We know why. You don't need to put it out there publicly. Is one, A, you're not going to disrespect me. You're going to get punched in the face in the locker room. B, you're fucking up my draft and my money, bro. Like, knowing that I'm a Colorado lineman now down the line, what if this is my year of leaving? How do I look now leaving that you were part of the offensive line that Shador didn't have no time in the pocket? Like, are you fucking crazy? Like, I saw Jeff Teague talk about this on his podcast. Like, if this happened back in his day, he would have got punched in college. Yeah. But also in the league, he would have got punched in the face. But you fucking with people's money, bro. So that I think I don't fuck with that move. And at the end of the game, not dapping up the Colorado State quarterback, in my opinion, it's not about classless. It's not about. I think I would have handled it differently, in which I would have said the same shit, but I would adapt him up. I'd be like, you was talking shit. Look what happened to you. And adapt him up and be like, should have shut the fuck up. Because no matter what, let's be honest, these college players are selling a fucking game. They're selling the game. That's the reason why this is big right now. You're selling each game you go into. There has to be something around it every time you go into a game. And that's all that was. So I didn't like that, not dapping him up and making him look stupid. I would have said the same shit to him, but just dapped him up. Like, you shouldn't have been talking shit, bro. Walk your ass and just get like that. And I think lastly I want to touch on is South Carolina. South Carolina getting robbed in that loss versus LSU. I've never seen nothing like it. I mean, Liam, I think they damn near had 2 pick sixes get called back. Their starting quarterback gets hurt. He comes out the game. The backup goes in. They had an offensive pass interference or some crazy call at the end of the game that no one even knows on who. It's just a call that happened to LSU to win the game. And it was complete bullshit, but it's hilarious. I don't know what the quarterback's name is for South Carolina, but Liam, in the first 2 weeks, he wore goggles. Like, he had goggles on. It was like this whole vibe of him wearing goggles as a quarterback, right? This stupid motherfucker, the next game, takes his goggles off and starts wearing contacts. When everyone in the stadium is wearing fucking goggles to the fucking games because of this guy. Why? I see. And now you get hurt and you lose the game. You're 2-0 with the goggles. If I'm his teammates, keep the fucking goggles on. 1, because I'm superstitious. 2, it's your mark. I mean, Eric Dickerson played for how many years in the league with the fucking St. Louis Rams as a fucking because of the goggles. That's your mark now. And we're undefeated still. We're going to LSU, and now you get hurt because you wear fucking contacts. I'm blaming the contacts on the reason you got hurt. Keep the goggles on, brother. And then we live in a world of NIL. What the fuck are you doing, bro? If I'm his fan, he's like, nah, I don't want that to be my identity. You're dumb. This is what happens when players start thinking for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Yeah, you're right, especially with the NIL. Because if they beat LSU and he's got the goggles on, and then it's a story. then it continues to be a story.
It's Dion's sunglasses. I'm selling
Yeah,
fucking goggles to the whole
exactly.
fucking stadium. Like, are
Exactly.
you
No,
kidding me?
but yeah, it's crazy. I was rooting for South Carolina there. Those SEC games are always fun.
Bro, go back and
A
watch
couple,
it.
a
It
couple,
was crazy.
yeah, a couple other takeaways I had. Two big time teams dominate. Miami 62-0,
Yeah,
Tennessee 71-0.
yeah,
They took care of their business.
yeah.
Um, I'll talk about Nebraska a little bit. Took care of business. They're now ranked 20. They actually have a game tomorrow, Friday night, against Illinois,
Yo,
who's
that's
all of
my
a sudden
game of the
ranked
week right
24.
now.
That's gonna be fire. That's
That's
gonna
my
be
game of the
fire.
week. Friday night's game's
But
been
here,
really good.
yeah, they have
They've been
been.
really.
But here's
Do they
my
always
question
do
for
this,
you,
Liam?
Malik. I think it's new. I think it's something new that Fox is
I
taking on.
love it. Do it.
It's
Keep it.
awesome. It's awesome. I'm sure the players do too.
Yeah.
But here's my question to you, Malik, because you talked about Georgia and almost brushed over it a little bit. I remember last year we talked about Georgia because they were in some close games. Their schedule was a little weak. And I remember we kind of like were saying, maybe they're just bored. Like when you win national championships at the rate that they were, you're getting into the playoff, like you have that much talent. It's easy not to get up for Kentucky week 3.
Yeah.
But then Georgia missed the playoff.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to miss the playoff this year,
No, no, no.
but do you think it's more of maybe they were bored, Kentucky caught them on a bad day? Or do you think this is something of, I don't know if Georgia is on that upper echelon level like they're ranked or like everybody kind of thinks?
I think I told you week 1 that I watched Georgia week 1. And I said, oh, we could beat Georgia. We could beat Michigan. The only teams I'm worried about right now is Tennessee, Texas, and
Yeah.
Bama. Those are the 3 teams I'm worried about
Yeah.
going into it. I don't consider. I think Georgia is if they don't fall, but they have a pretty tough team going into the playoffs. I mean, they might get through the first round with it being so
Yeah.
open now.
Right.
But I think second round loss, a guaranteed second round
That's
loss
what I
if
mean.
they
Yeah,
don't
that's what I'm
get it
saying.
together, guaranteed.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be something to watch out for because, again, it's one of those things that if this is any other team, if this was Ohio State, if this was Texas, if this was Bama that won by 1 point, it'd be
Drop.
the leading story. But Georgia, you would barely even know that they won by 1. Nobody
Yeah,
talked
they
about
quad
it.
it up. Yeah, they
Yeah.
quad it up.
But I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely going to be something to look out for. Obviously, they're extremely talented, but again,
Yeah, no.
coming off a disappointing year last year, and again, there are a lot of teams that look great so far.
Not that
We'll see.
quarterback. I don't have a lot of faith in Georgia's quarterback
don't either.
as well. But I think that the games to watch for sure is tomorrow, Illinois versus Nebraska. And I think I saw Will Compton say this. I don't know how long it's been, but I think it's the first time in a decade that Nebraska is playing a ranked team in which they are also ranked. So this is the opportunity for Nebraska to get back into the forefront on games. It's the first time they're truly tested. I think, what is it, 20-something versus 20-something, both teams.
Yeah,
So this is a chance and an opportunity in which one of those teams will get knocked out. This is a tough Illinois team. And let's see if, what are they calling him? Penny Mahomes or something that. If Mahomes' little brother can figure it out. Ohio State's been boring all year. We haven't really played anyone. But we're playing Marshall, so it would still be a good game. You have a big game. I definitely say I'm calling USC to win this game. Michigan versus USC. I think the game of the weekend will be Oklahoma versus Utah, 12 versus 14. And then you have Tennessee versus Oklahoma. So we do have some great games going into this weekend.
Oklahoma one's going to be awesome.
Yeah, 6 versus 15. So I'm hyped for all that. I'm going to go down the line. If there's those games that I picked, I'm going to have Nebraska getting the W, Ohio State, of course, getting a W, USC edging Michigan. I'm going to go for an upset here. Oklahoma State upsetting Utah, and I think Tennessee. This will be the test for me to see. I think Tennessee is one of those top teams versus Oklahoma. It's going to be a great game, but I have Tennessee winning that one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I really think that Oklahoma-Tennessee game is going to be close.
Yeah.
And look, I think I like USC to win too. That line is 5.5 favorites. I think Michigan's going to keep it tight. They have to.
Yeah,
it's a big house. They already gotten embarrassed at home by Texas.
Yeah.
They need to do something. So I expect them to come out. Have that defense. Like, what are you made of?
Yeah, true. Good points. Any last words, Liam?
No, look, if you have Alvin Kamara on your fantasy team, I do.
Oh my God!
Good luck to, and congratulations early for a fantasy win because he'll probably drop another 50 spot on the Eagles, and that's about it.
Dog, not for nothing. I'm a Cowboys fan, and also I went against Alvin Kamara in fantasy last week as well. So it was just a double win. I mean, I went against everyone that I couldn't believe had the best game of their life, and then everyone that I had
Yeah,
probably the worst game
happens.
of their life. And I don't know, I'm playing like a rookie league, and I guess the computer automatically generated guys to get picked up. So anyone that had a great week, I went to go try to pick up, they were already taken. And I'm like, how the fuck are they taken already? Like, there's no way these guys are taken already. So it was a
Yeah,
bad week for your boy in fantasy.
man.
Hey guys, thank you for supporting Trust Sports. Please follow us on Instagram at WeTrust_podcast. Go watch us on YouTube and please subscribe. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music as well. And make sure you follow Liam on Instagram at
Liam Stokes 11.
Trust Up, guys.
All right, thanks, Lee.